University Application Center's webinar for studying in Canada for female students. If you don't already like us on Facebook, we have a Facebook page where you can ask questions and send us questions or concerns, and we try to answer your questions as best as we can. You can also follow us on Twitter if you have Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter to get updates on our events around the world and to get important information about studying in Canada. So follow us if you have a Twitter account, and if you don't, you should get one and join the Twitter world, because it is a great, another great website where you can follow us and get as much information as you can from us. So a little bit about myself. My name is Anne Alexander, and I went to York University in Toronto. I've also went to school in Australia, and I've lived in South Korea. So I understand that it's important to know how towards women before deciding to move there. As women, we face different challenges, so it's good to know and be aware of what we'll encounter in a new country before deciding to go there. So it's really great, those of you that are attending this webinar, that you'll be learning about really interesting facts and about why it's an advantage for women to be studying in Canada. Here's an overview of the topics that we'll be looking at today. And again, if you have any questions during the webinar, you can type it into the question box on the side panel. And you can type it in at any time, but I will be only answering them at the end. This webinar is also going to be available for you to view on our YouTube channel, on the KUAC YouTube channel. So if you have to leave early, or if you want to share what you learned today with your friend or family, then you will be easily able to share it. Just check out our Facebook page tomorrow or later today, and you'll see the link to the YouTube video for this webinar. So first of all, let's look at why is Canada number one for women. So in a survey conducted this year with 370 gender experts from around the globe, Canada was ranked the number one country for women to live and work. Women in Canada have a higher quality of life, better job opportunities, and more freedoms than in any other country in the world. The poll asked international NGOs, journalists, lawyers, academics, and other specialists to rank the best and worst G20 countries for women under 6 categories, which are workplace, opportunities, access to resources, participation in politics, quality of health, freedom from violence, freedom from trafficking, and slavery. The study also found that 62% of university graduates in Canada are females, and 1/3 of federally appointed judges in Canada are also female. Female students often choose to study in Canada due to its reputation as a safe and democratic society. Canada's education system is also known as one of the best in the world, which is why so many people choose to study here. This poll was conducted by TrustLaw, and the link to the source of this article is included. So if you're interested to learn more about why Canada was ranked as the number one place for women to live, then you can check out this article yourself and learn more about that. So let's talk about safety, and being safe at night is a really main concern for most women. The key to being safe is to be aware. So always have your cell phone with you. Try not to walk around after dark alone, especially in a new place. All university campuses have security patrolling the campuses 24 hours a day. Most campuses also offer a shuttle bus service for students after dark, dropping them off to the nearest bus stop or major intersection. Some also have a safe walk program where someone will escort you by foot after dark, by request. So you do have to ask them. So if you're feeling unsafe and you just need to walk to where you live or to somewhere on campus, you can always get somebody to escort you as well. All university campuses have 24-hour emergency assistance, so you always have someone to call in any type of emergency. Now, the crime rate in Canada is low compared to most countries in the world. In 2011, the crime rate in Canada was the lowest since 1973, and Canada is considered one of the safest countries in the world. Our police are friendly and professional and have outstanding relationships with the communities that they serve in. Now, another very important question that most students and parents ask is there a drug culture in Canada? Now, in most cities, there is a prevalent drug culture. However, you have to remember that life in Canada is not like the movies. The legal age for drinking alcohol in Canada is 19 years old, but you make the choice of if you want to be around people who participate in this type of lifestyle. On campus, you can join groups of similar interests based on religion or culture and your interests. So when it comes to using illegal substances, you have to remember that it's always a personal choice. In Canada, it's illegal to smoke indoors, so smoke tobacco, smoking cigarettes. So you cannot smoke them indoors anywhere. And it shows how committed we are towards creating safer places for everyone so that everybody can be safe together. Now, another main concern is finding housing for women. Before you go to a new country and you're a woman, you're probably thinking, who will I live with? Will it be comfortable? Now, all campuses have a female only dorm. If you want to live off campus, you can find housing before arriving through your university. However, it's better to arrive than find housing, especially if you want to live with other females. Because if you're trying to find housing before from your home country, you won't really know who you're living with or what the place that you're living in looks like. Even if you see it in photos, it might not look the same in when you come here, and you don't want to feel disappointed. Now, you may also want to live in the female only dorm for the first year, then move into an off campus house with people you've met in your second year, for example, because that will be a lot easier. There are also co ed dorms, and co ed dorms, you have to remember, have sections by gender. So if you choose to live in a co ed dorm, you'll still be with a female roommate. If you choose to have a roommate, or you'll be on a floor with only females. And the washrooms are always separated by gender, even in a co ed dorm. Dorms don't have a curfew, although during exam time they will have a silence curfew, which means no noise after, let's say, 9 p.m. or so. And all dorms have a common study room and dining facilities, usually a kitchen with cooking facilities and a dining hall where you're able to purchase meals. So, Canada is a world leader in the promotion and protection of women's rights and gender equality. Women in Canada are equally respected as men, and there are no separate lines or sections for men and women here. For example, in some places, there on a bus or a train, there will be a women only section. But in Canada, we don't have sections or lineups based on your gender. This is mainly because it's safe to for males and females to be in the same space together, and they're equally respected in wherever you are. Now, the university environment in Canada is casual. Professors have office hours each week where you can meet them one on one if you have any issues to discuss or to get assistance. You don't have to call them sir or ma'am because that's very formal here. You can address your professor by their first name, or you can even just call them professor if you're uncomfortable calling them by their first name. As a female in Canada, you can be assertive and confident. And also, there are usually an equal amount of male and female professors and teaching assistants in Canada or in Canadian universities and colleges. As you might already know, Canada is a diverse country. There is freedom to practice your religion and culture in Canada. There are people who live here from numerous different cultural backgrounds, religions, and beliefs. The diversity is what makes us unique. There are so many different people who live peacefully with one another. That also means you're bound to meet someone from the same country who maybe speaks the same language as you. It's a great advantage to have someone from your country or hometown in the same school as you. But it's also great to be able to meet people from all over the world in one place and learn about their culture too. And that's a very big advantage that you have if you choose to study in Canada. Now, eve teasing is very popular in South Asian countries. Um, Here we call it bullying or initiation in Canada. On a university or college campus, there's zero tolerance for misconduct. That means that if someone is reported bullying or teasing another student, they can face serious consequences with the law. So, bullying at the university and college level is very minimal, with most of the bullying nowadays happening online. This is known as cyberbullying and can happen through popular social media websites like Facebook. So be careful of cyberbullying and be aware of it. And be careful about the type of information and photos that you post online. All campuses have a health clinic located on campus or near campus. Health services aren't totally free since you do pay for them in your student insurance health plan, sometimes privately on your own, or sometimes the health plan is included through your school. But you get excellent service for the amount that you do pay. There are also other free services on campus, such as writing workshops to help you with your report or essay writing, Job Center, which can help you with finding a part time job, and all campuses have an international student center specifically to assist international students. Now, the job market. Everybody is wondering, is it difficult to find a job as a woman? It's not more difficult to find a job in Canada just because you're a female. There are more equal job opportunities in Canada than most places in the world. Now, this graph here from the Human Resources and Skills Development Canada displays how rapidly the presence of women have grown in the workplace. Between 1976 and 2011, the employment rate for women rose from 41.9% to 57.9%, which is a 16% point increase over these years. So, if you're wondering, can I find a job? Finding a job is all about you after you finish your studies. If you look for a job in the field that you studied in, it's possible that you can find a job. Now, if you're wondering, is it more difficult because you're a woman to find a job? The answer is no, it's not. It doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. Um, Finding a job is an equal opportunity in Canada. And there's the source. So if you want to read up more about the job market for women and the labor force here, you can look up Statistics Canada and you can look at their information. All right, so now we're at the question and answer part of this webinar. So if you have questions, you could write it in the question box, and I'll give you guys about 5 minutes or so if you have any questions to ask them now. And at the end of this webinar, you will receive a survey. So please fill out the survey the best you can so that we know if this webinar is beneficial for you and how we can improve for next time. And as always, we're always here to answer your questions. So remember to visit our Facebook page and ask us the questions on the wall, or follow us on Twitter, and you can always send us a question or a message in a tweet as well. Okay, so we do have a really good question here. What sectors do women gain employment in? So if you're asking if there's one sector where there's more women that are employed in than others, there's the typical sectors such as education or nursing. But in Canada, those sectors even that are traditionally women based are growing with males as well. For example, we have more male teachers, and we have more male nurses. So those are I'm talking about the traditional female dominated industries. But even with I guess traditionally male dominated industries such as engineering, there's more women who are getting into that sector and gaining employment. So again, I wouldn't say there's one sector where there's more women that are employed in. It would be more equal when you look at it in Canada. So I hope that answers your question. So another great question is for a married woman, can she come studying with her spouse? So if you're married and you want to study in Canada, can your husband come with you? Of course he can. And what would happen is if you got your admission, once you apply for your visa, your husband would also have to apply, and you can get a spousal visa. But it just so it wouldn't be any more difficult than you getting your own visa, but they would have to go through somewhat of a similar process because they would also need a visa to come to Canada and to live with you. Okay, so if there's not any more questions, then we're gonna wrap this up. Okay, thanks everyone for joining this webinar. And again, the recorded version of what you just saw will be posted later today on our Facebook page. So if you think what you saw was helpful to you, or you think that there would be somebody you know that would be helpful for, please do share the link to our to this webinar, and come back to our Facebook page and visit us. And also, you can tell us how our webinar was on our Facebook page if you find it helpful, if there was information that you thought was good, or maybe you didn't like it. So let us know, because if you don't tell us, then I don't know how to make it better. So we do need your feedback. So thanks again for participating today. And I hope this webinar was helpful for you. And hopefully one day you'll be able to study in Canada.